What's going on, everybody? Time for my list of the top 10 best movies of the year 2017. Now, before we get started, you should probably know a few things. First, I did not get to see everything that came out in the year 2017. So when I say the best of 2017, I mean like the stuff I got to see. I didn't get to see Blade Runner 2. I didn't get to see Wind River. So should they have been on this list? Maybe, but I didn't get a chance to see them. The next thing you should know about this is that my list is not going to be the same as your list. So when you are watching this video and you say, that doesn't belong in the top 10 best movies of the year 2017, well, put that in the comment section down below and tell me what you would have changed. So, yeah. And finally, before we get this list started, guys, I want to give you my honorable mentions. Now, these are the 3 movies that I wanted to put on this list, but I just couldn't do it. And first off, Annabelle Creation. Annabelle Creation was a very good scary movie. It kept the franchise of the Conjuring universe going, while it also told its own story. It led into Annabelle 1, which was shaky, to say the least. Not a lot of people like that one, but Annabelle Creation was solid. Plus, it set us up for The Nun, which I'm really excited for, and that's coming out next February, or this February, actually, a month from now at some point. I haven't seen any previews. I'm a little worried that it's actually coming out. The next one on my honorable mentions list is another horror movie, but this one had a little bit of a comedy twist to it, and that was Get Out. Again, I wanted to put this on my top 10 best movies because I liked the direction this movie went. I liked the jokes in this movie. I love that TSA always finds out. I believe that was the joke. It's been a while since I've seen the movie. But the point is, it was a fun movie. I had a good time with it, and I did feel a real sense of danger for the main character, which sometimes you just watch the movie and you're like, they're going to survive. Or sometimes you've seen a commercial and you're like, oh, they're definitely going to survive. But you know, you didn't know if that was going to happen or how it was going to go down, and so it worked out. It was good. It was nice. I liked it. And finally, on my honorable mentions list, Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I'm not going to lie to you guys. My list is full of superhero movies that came out in the year 2017, but Guardians of the Galaxy was probably my least favorite of all superhero movies that came out in the year 2017, and I just couldn't fit it on this list. It was funny, I loved the characters, I loved the spoilers at the end, I loved a lot of things about it, but I just loved everything else a little bit more. So, great movie, but it couldn't make the list. Okay, now that we got all that out of the way, let's move on to my top 10 favorite movies of the year 2017, and coming in at number 10... Star Wars, Episode 8, The Last Jedi. This movie had its problems, and it had some issues that a lot of people didn't like, and fans are very divided on this movie, but I really enjoyed this movie. I enjoyed it enough to put it at the number 10 spot, but not anywhere closer to number 1. This movie had a few moments that I really loved. Case in point, the first one I loved was when Kylo and Rey team up to take on Snoke's bodyguards. Fantastic scene. Any space battle scene in this movie, also fantastic. But it also had moments I absolutely hated, and that was like when Carrie Fisher's character, Leia, just kind of Mary Poppins her way back into a ship. I hated that. If that's been a power, then people have been Jediing all wrong. So, there's number 10. And coming in at number 9 is a movie that I don't know how many of you saw it, but you really should check it out if you haven't seen it yet, and that was the Belko Experiment. The Belko Experiment was about a group of workers, well, it was a core group, 5 or 6 people, but ultimately it was about 200 people working in a facility, and then the facility locks down, and over the loudspeakers comes a voice that says, hey, you have like a couple hours to kill everybody in here and be the last one standing, or we'll kill all of you. And so it begins. There's factions of people that group together. There's factions of bad people you root for. And at the end of the day, you don't know who to root for, because while there are incredibly horrible people in this that you're like, yeah, kill them, if it comes down to one, you don't really know who to pick. And it's kind of awesome how they get down to that number 1, and then there's a little bit of a reveal at the end that some people didn't like. But again, I'm going to be honest with you, this list is movies I liked, the movies that impacted me in 2017, and Belko Experiment, right on. And at number 8, a movie that a lot of people didn't like, and I know, it's on my best of, But Justice League, I loved Justice League, and here's why. Were there problems with the story? Yes. Were there problems with the CGI? Yes. But come on, we got to see the Justice League on screen for the first time. Whether or not it was a fantastic movie or a horrible movie, we saw Justice League on screen for the first time. Yes, it's going to be in my list. Come on, you had Superman, you had Batman, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and Flash, and wow, this movie hit on all cylinders. And the main thing it did to me, though, is it made me feel like a little kid again. A spoiler alert, and the after credit scenes. That was the movie we all wanted to see. And I hope that's the direction DC goes in the future. But in the after credit scene, you had Superman and Flash race each other, and that was awesome. And it just, when that hit, I felt like a little kid, and I was like, that's the scene. That's the one that's that's the one that's gonna put it on my best of list. So there you go, number 8. And coming in at number 7, you guessed it, another superhero movie, Thor 3, or Thor Ragnarok. Guys, Thor Ragnarok was a comedy. I mean, as funny as Guardians of the Galaxy 1 is, and as funny as Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is, we now have a reigning champion in comedies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and maybe just in superhero movies in general. Thor was funny from the very beginning scene to the very last scene. In Thor Ragnarok, the very opening scene, Thor takes on Surtur, and you think it's going to be this awesome fight, and while the fight is cool, it's funny, and the movie just continues down that path. Whoever thought any of us would care about a character named Korg? And yet, I can't wait to see him come back. He better come back. Guys, Thor Ragnarok was fun. It saw a lot of really cool characters. It saw Surtur at his best, and it was just fantastic. I nerd out every time I think about it, and I can't wait to buy it on Blu-ray. And number 6, another superhero movie. That's right, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was awesome because a few reasons. Gal Gadot is extremely hot, and can she act? Who cares? Guys, Wonder Woman was fun though, and we got to see Wonder Woman go against Ares, and now that this DC cinematic universe has shown us that there's powers beyond just superheroes. Now we're talking about gods. Like, the implications of this are incredible for the superhero DC cinematic universe, and I can't wait to see what comes next. Also, Chris Pine killed it in that movie, and that's all the thoughts I'm going to give you on it, and let's move on to my top 5. Coming in at number 5. Number 5, Spiderman Homecoming. Spiderman Homecoming did something awesome with Spider-Man for the first time in a while. I'm going to be honest with you guys, just like everyone else, when I saw the Tobey Maguire movies, I was like, yes, they nailed Spider-Man there. They nailed Peter Parker. Great job. Could use him a little less whiny and less of a 40-year-old man, but they nailed him. And then they switched to Andrew Garfield. I was like, okay, they're doing the Ultimate Universe. This Spider-Man works for me. Andrew Garfield's my guy. And then I heard they were taking Andrew Garfield away, and I was like, oh, damn it. And then they were replacing him with this guy named Tom Holland. I didn't know anything about him, and then he showed up in Civil War, and I was like, okay, I'm in. Let's check out Spider-Man. And so Spider-Man Homecoming comes out, and Michael Keaton kills it as the Vulture. And honestly, I don't know if I've seen a villain that I love as much as Michael Keaton's Vulture since I saw Heath Ledger's Joker. I'm not saying he's better than Heath Ledger's Joker. I'm just saying that in the line of villains in comic book movies, Michael Keaton's Vulture is awesome, and I want him back. I don't want him back right away. I'd like him to go somewhere else with the sequel, but I want him back in this universe. And he went to jail. He's not dead. So let's get Michael Keaton back because, wow, he was a good enemy. Moving on. Okay, and moving on to my number 4 pick. My number 4 pick is in the genre of horror. A horror movie that actually did make it into my top 10, and that is It. It was a fantastic adaptation of the Stephen King novel, and it did something different than other scary movies, and that is, it made me care about the characters as well as the villain. The only weak point in this movie, I thought, was the bully aspect of it. There was like this, I forget his name. I saw it once in theaters, but I loved it, and I'm going to buy it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to pull the trigger. I'm going to be at Walmart and be like, yeah, I need that. Ah, damn it. But seriously, I enjoyed this movie. This movie was scary, and it also was funny. This movie had pop-out horror, and this movie had laugh-out-loud comedy. This movie hit on almost all cylinders. Again, the only thing I didn't like about this movie was the bully aspect of it, and he had to like kill his dad, and maybe that's right out of the book. I didn't read the book. But it could have done without that. But otherwise, wow, this movie was good, and I can't wait for the sequel. Oh, spoiler alert, at the very end it was like part 1, and I was like, yes, you're getting on the list this year. Bringing us to number 3, final superhero movie, I promise, but Logan. Logan is the number 3 movie of the year for me, and that is because this is a superhero movie almost done to perfection. Logan, played by Hugh Jackman, who has played Logan, played Wolverine for so long, almost 20 years, and Logan is so good, and it's nothing we've ever seen before. It's a fresh take on the Wolverine character. It's a take in the future where everything's gone wrong seemingly because of the Professor, and you get Professor X and you get Wolverine, and it's their final days, and wow, does this movie, it just hits you right in the heart. This movie is sad, and it's just got this sad tone the entire time. It's not Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's not a Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. So when you see Logan, you feel so bad for this character, and you feel so horrible for his situation, but at the same time, wow, when he cuts those people up in an R-rated movie, yeah, us geeks, we were excited. And my number 2 pick is a movie that comes from the sci-fi genre, and that is Alien Covenant. Alien Covenant is a follow-up to Prometheus, but it's in the line of Alien movies. Wow. Wow. Prometheus was a little bit of a letdown when I first watched it. And when they didn't come out with a sequel for several years, I was like, I don't think I'll ever watch Prometheus again. When I heard Alien Covenant was coming out, I was like, let me give it another shot. So I gave it another shot, and I kind of bought into the movie a little more. And then when I saw Alien Covenant, it all made sense. And I was like, wow, this is awesome. Michael Fassbender as the ultimate villain. I mean, if you think of an alien movie, you think the alien would be the ultimate villain. And no, Michael Fassbender is the villain of this movie. And wow, he is awesome. But he's also kind of the good guy of this movie because he's 2 people at once. He's 2 androids. Somebody on YouTube is going to be like, he's 2 androids. He's not 2 people. You are correct. But he is 2 androids at once. And man, this movie is good. And when you finally get that alien, when you finally get that raw, just slobbering everywhere alien, oh, it's good. And the end sets up the next movie so perfect. I cannot wait to see what happens. Super props to Danny McBride for doing this and showing everybody that he can do more than comedy, because Danny McBride killed in this movie too. And finally, my favorite movie of the year 2017, John Wick Chapter 2. John Wick Chapter 2 fired on every single cylinder. It did something that most sequels can't do, and that is be a good movie. But not even be a good movie, it was a great movie. John Wick Chapter 2 shows Keanu Reeves continuing on as John Wick in this world of assassins where pretty much anything goes as long as you have those gold coins. And wow, was it good. It finishes the events of Part 1, and it shows him trying to regroup and just get his car back, get back to his house, be done with everything else, and then somebody has to push his buttons. Somebody has to push him again. Somebody has to bring him out again. And it goes a completely different direction than the first movie. He's not revenging his dog. He's not revenging anything in this movie. But wow, when he goes off in this movie, it is awesome. From the opening scene to the last scene of the movie, I was at the edge of my seat. No other movie in 2017 did that. Have you seen John Wick 2? Because if you haven't, you need to. It is phenomenal. And it is my number 1 movie of the year 2017. Well, guys, if you enjoyed this list, go ahead and let me know by hitting the like button and the share button so that all of your friends in the social media world can see it. And also, if you have a different opinion, like I said at the beginning of this video, you need to put that in the comment section down below right now. Let me know what your favorites were in the year 2017. Let me know if my favorites were maybe your favorites, but in a different order. You know, who knows? Maybe we agree that they were great movies, but they need to be switched around a little bit. Maybe. Thanks for watching.